In this video, I am going to show you how to calculate Z-score in Google Sheets. The Z-score, also called standard score, is a number that is used in statistics that will tell you the distance from the mean that a data point is, measured in terms of standard deviations. So essentially what a Z-score is that it's how many standard deviations above or below the mean a data point is. If it's a positive number, it's above the mean. If it's a negative number, it's below the mean. And so what I'm going to show you how to do is calculate this in Google Sheets. The basic formula for Z-score is score minus mean divided by standard deviation. So that is what we are going to calculate in our spreadsheet. So this is my list of values, and this is the data point or the score that I want to find the Z-score for. So since this is our formula, score minus mean divided by standard deviation, I need to get the mean and I need to get the standard deviation in order to calculate the Z-score. So we're going to use a few functions. The first function we're going to use is the average function to find the average or the mean. And so that is a pretty simple function, average, and then you just put in your range that contains the data that you're trying to find the average for. So average, and then put in your data range, and now this is the mean or the average for my data. Next is standard deviation. So there's actually a few different standard deviation functions that you can use in Google Sheets. There is standard deviation .p, and what this will do is calculate standard deviation if you have the entire population of data in your file. Sometimes you only have a sample of data and you're trying to find the standard deviation from the sample, and you can use standard deviation stdev.s if you have a sample, stdev.p if you have the entire population. I have all of the values in this range. I have the entire population of data, so I'm going to use stdev.p, and then you use this the same way you use average. You just put the entire data range into this function as the only argument, and this is the standard deviation. So lastly, we can finally calculate the Z-score once we have the mean and the standard deviation. So equals, so you find your score or the data point that you want to calculate the Z-score for. So score minus mean, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, and then divided by standard deviation. So the Z-score for this value is 0.399. So again, a Z-score is how many standard deviations above or below the mean a data point is. So let's take a look at this. The Z-score is 0.399. So if I take this Z-score and I times it by my standard deviation, let me just expand this, you can see it's 1.36. Now let's add 1.36 to my average. You can see that is my Z-score. That is what a Z-score is. It's how many standard deviations above or below the mean a data point is, and you can see 0.399, or roughly 40% of a standard deviation, is 1.36, and if you add that to the average, it's the Z-score. So essentially this data point is about 40% of a standard deviation above the mean. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments.